Today for Valentine is Valentine's Day, so I thought I would do a video of me getting ready and doing some kind of fun makeup because I like doing makeup, and talking about love as a chronically ill person. How does that work? Tea on my exes. How me and my current boyfriend are doing and how we do it with my chronic illnesses. So let's get started. I'll also show you the products I'm using if you're interested. Probably not, but... And so, I've already kind of laid down a foundation. I just covered up zits. I use this concealer thing for zits. It's supposed to dry them out. And I put down eyelid primer. This is Smashbox. I can't remember. Primer. LOL, we already had a camera malfunction. Gang gang, but we're back. So I went over what I put down already. We're gonna start with Take Me Back to Brazil palette because we've been fancy. We getting red. It's Valentine's Day. Oh, and then at the end of this, we'll take you guys on the date me and Zach are doing. What is that? Yeah, we'll figure it out. Also, yes, my hair is purple. Did this post on my Instagram of me drawing it because I didn't feel like putting on makeup. Of course, now I'm putting on makeup, but you know. Yeah, maybe we'll start with some pinky. Some pinky and kind of make it red. I think we're gonna do that. There's like, you know, this whole section or whatever. Chronically ill love. This is completely unscripted, by the way, so I have to like process. It's gonna be laying down this pink color. All over my lid and everywhere. All pinky. I have only been diagnosed as chronically ill for, gosh, I was diagnosed my senior year. I'm now a sophomore in college, so like 3 years. At the time, I was dating someone, and I became ill while we were dating. God bless that man for sticking with me throughout the chaos of getting diagnosed and being sick all the time and literally not doing anything. I realized I just used 2 different shades. High eyelid. But yeah, he stuck with me throughout it, and I mean, honestly, like, we did end up breaking up. This is my ex. But he was really like faithful throughout the full thing, especially since we started dating at the beginning of summer. At the end of summer is when I started getting really symptomatic. And then, like, you know, by that fall of that year, I had to drop out of high school and go on independent study for a while. So, but he had been dating, like, we dated for 2 years, and it was really, well, almost 2 years. It was like 2 years, 11 months and something weeks. But it was really difficult on our relationship, and I often gave him an out many times just because I was really anxious about it. I already struggle with the idea of what love is supposed to look like in a relationship. I was young. I didn't really, you know, everyone, you know, you have your first boyfriend. He was my real first boyfriend. I think, honestly, a lot of it was, like, he didn't sign up for the, like, neither of us knew this was going to happen. And I think in the end it ended up just being too much, which is totally understandable. I mean, like, it's a lot. Like, dating someone that's chronically ill is not only like it's not only, you know, like that normal girlfriend obnoxious crying whatever stuff. It's also like, okay, if you're gonna date me, I date intentionally. This is not for everyone. I like to date intentionally in the sense of either this relationship is either going to end in heartbreak or marriage. That's like what you have to think about. And so I date somebody like, if I'm going to marry you in the future, this is what you have to deal with. This is how it's going to be. And I don't like it like that. I prefer not. I'm a very independent person by nature, and so I would prefer, like, to not have to, like, ask people for help and things. But it's, as a chronically ill person, both you have to learn to ask your partner for help, and also learn that it's okay when you need extra help that a normal girlfriend/boyfriend wouldn't need. Not that your illness defines you, but it definitely is a huge part of being in a relationship with someone that is chronically ill. You just have a lot of extra stuff. Like for me, I have the port care, I have a feeding tube, I have doctor's visits, I have hospital visits. Like, you know, most people in their lifetime, like in dating, you wouldn't have to visit your like significant other in the hospital. Like usually that's like only if there's like a big major car accident, but it's like, no, I have to go like on a semi-regular basis just for, you know, like exchanging my feeding tube, or like it gets ripped out or something happens. Or I get infections, and I just have to go like more often than you would expect from a normal relationship. And I think in the end that just ended up being too much, and like, not to sell myself short or sell other people that are chronically ill short, but it is a lot of work, and that's asking a lot of commitment from somebody, especially if you're dating them and you're not like married. Which I've kind of tried to draw that line a little bit. I'm still kind of figuring out where that line is with what you expect from somebody when you're dating them versus when you marry them as a chronically ill person. And I think that takes a while, and honestly, I probably won't know that line until I get married. Or if I ever get married. Sorry, I'm trying to say what I'm doing. I've used kind of this shade and this shade to like lay down the lid, and now I'm going in with this shade on the crease-ish area. My current boyfriend, we'd known each other since, which I haven't talked about much, our relationship. We've known each other since basically we were like little kids. Like, I met him at church. Our family originally went to another church in my hometown, but we ended up transferring when I was in second grade to the church that we're currently at, because my sister is severely disabled, and I'm like, you know, ambulatory disabled. And they didn't have any like special needs classes for like people like, specifically her. She has more mental, you know, stuff like that going on than I do. I can at least like, you know, pass for a normal person. But my sister has like cerebral palsy and is deafblind, and so it's just like there's not as much like, there's a lot more of a barrier for her than me, and I'm extremely grateful that I'm still able to like, you know, talk to people. And I met Zach in like second grade. I don't remember like the official meeting. I just remember him. He's like always been at the church, and we've always hung out because it's not like a small church, but it's not like a big church either. You know, like all the second graders are still in the same, you know, classroom and stuff like that. You take a breath, I talk too much. It's like a root beer float without the commitment. Speaking of relationships. And so we've been friends basically since then, like on and off. I dated his best friend and he dated my best friend at the time. So that's pretty funny and a little bit awkward. It was fun for a while. We had I was lucky to be privileged enough to have like a really nice friend group in high school. For at least the first couple of years of high school, we were all really close, and a lot of us ended up dating each other. I don't know what that says about that. He dated my best friend, I dated his best friend. Obviously, we're now dating each other, so both of those relationships didn't work out for X, Y, and Z reasons. And he was actually, that summer, we were like hanging out because I was like, oh, I can like hang out with guys again because I'm not like, you know, dating someone and trying to be exclusive. Which is nice, but it's also like, eh. Yeah, and he was like, I guess what happened was we were at, he could probably tell a better version of this than I can, but we were were we playing Truth or Dare? I think it was Truth or Dare, was what we were playing, and somebody asked like who Zach had liked in the past, and I was one of the people that he had liked in the past because he liked me before I started dating his best friend, which that's some tea. But yeah, but basically he like readmitted to himself that, yeah, actually I still kind of like her. God knows why he does. I still don't get that. Because I mean, you've seen him, he's like heck a stud. Just saying, I definitely don't deserve him. He ended up telling me about it about like a couple months before he left for college, which is really funny, but he was like, I just gotta be honest, like straight up, you know, we've been hanging out with our other guy friends and stuff, but I still really like you, and I don't know, like, I just need to tell you. And I was like, oh, okay. Actually, what ended up happening was he was like, I still really like you or whatever. And then he said, yeah. And then he like paused, and then I like kind of like leaned into his shoulder because I didn't want to be like, yeah, you know, because he didn't really ask a question. And so he was like, what does that mean? And I was like, it's obvious. And he was like, you're gonna have to be blunt. I'm not very good at taking hints. And so like we joke about that all the time now. So silly. But luckily it was enough time between when because my ex and I had broken up that May, and then like the end of June is when he asked me out. So I was like still kind of like and so I was like, I don't know. I kind of went into it not the greatest way you probably should go into a relationship, but I was like, I genuinely really did like him, but I'm still, you know, kind of on and off recovering. And I really think, you know, after dating someone for 2 years and then breaking up, like, it's hard to get over that stuff. It just is. You can't spend that much time with another human being and not grieve it for, like, a long amount of time. So there are still occasions where I'm like, we broke up, you know, but, you know, it's life. We move on. In a lot of ways, it worked out really well because he went off to college. We did long distance for, like, 4 months, which was actually really good because that gave me that space to grieve as well. I haven't told him that, so he'll see this. Sorry, babe. But that gave me that space and that time to, like, you know, understand myself as an individual before I kind of went into a relationship, you know? We had a really great summer just hanging out and stuff, and so that was really nice. But yeah, he ended up going long distance. We did long distance for 4 months, and then we both decided, kind of outside each other, but also together, cohesively in a weird way, to go to Biola. So now he's here with me. He was originally going to Liberty University in Virginia, which was cheaper, and that's part of the reason why he went there. But it ended up costing about the same as it would to just go to school here because of the plane tickets back. He only came back, you know, they had like some weird fall break in October, so he came back for that weekend and then like Thanksgiving. But that ended up just costing as much as it would be to just like stay at Biola and not have to fly back and forth and stuff like that. Now I'm going, sorry, I'm like trying to decide what, it's hard to do both these things at the same time, but I'm doing my best. So I've done, kind of laid down, I did this in kind of like the sides, just for me, I don't know why, it just makes my eyes look less like babyish. I have a really bad baby face, and so I like try to, I guess it makes my eyes narrower, I don't know. There's some sort of like weird thing, I just know it works. So I did that kind of like on the two sides, and then in the middle I'm going to go in with this like lighter pinky tone and kind of like use that as a highlight, but I'm also probably going to use some of this white as well, because it's a little bit more highlighty. Yeah, so we ended up transferring here. That's where we are today. It's a little bit different for us because now he went in knowing that I was chronically ill, whereas my first relationship, it was kind of like pulled on him, and I still feel really bad for that, for so many reasons, but yeah, he's been really good, and it's definitely been tough because I also struggle with mental health issues, as you know from one of the first videos I did from the You Mean Tea. And having that with chronic illness, they kind of go hand in hand. I had the mental issues outside of being chronically ill, and then I got chronically ill, and it kind of exacerbated it, which makes sense. I mean, you lose a lot of friends, you don't have as much time or energy to do stuff. Like, a lot of that is like similar symptoms to depression. Most girls get up, you know, an hour and a half early to do this stuff, and I have to get up an hour and a half early to like get my pump bags ready, get infusion stuff ready, like do all the steps for that, make sure it's all clean, feed Opal, take Opal out, all this stuff. And so that's the other half of the reason why I'm doing this, is I actually have time today to put on makeup, so I thought I would, you know, show that, because I'm like, hey, I do wear makeup sometimes, I pinky promise. Alright, we back. I brought the scissors, found a piece of cardboard, so we're gonna do this. I also put a poll on my Instagram, so I'll check that before I wrap up the video to see if anyone's asked anything interesting, because I'm not entirely sure what to talk about. Again, this isn't scripted, so. Ooh, that's a good one. It's not really like a Valentine's Day themed one, but it's a good question, so I will answer it. Olivia, I'll smack it up there, asked me how the port, like a port update, how that's, what did she say exactly? How has having a port changed how you feel lately? Do you feel it's beneficial? And I will say I didn't notice right off the bat how I felt, but like days that I do, oh shoot, just got a huge line. Oh, it's turning out well now. But I just got a huge line on my nose because I messed up. But yeah, it's really been helping a lot, and the only reason I know that is because the only reason I notice is I notice when I'm off it, I pass out like so much more. It's ridiculous. And my boyfriend can probably attest this as well. Like it's helped my endurance so much more. Like I would not be able to make it to classes right now if, like, it's insane the like amount of energy increase you have when you're like actually, you know, properly hydrated and stuff. Like, wow, amazing how that works, you know? I'm gonna fill one in. I'm gonna not fill one in, but like outline in an eyeliner and see if that makes it look less like I'm a diseased child. Even though I am a diseased child, we don't want the populace to think that. I'm anxiously checking it. I need to stop. Yeah, that's it. Okay, well, I'll just keep getting ready until I get more questions. Well, this is the finished look. I ended up putting on some teeth whitening stuff, so hopefully I look a little better. Just saying, gastroparesis and white teeth don't exist cohesively unless you know, do something about it. So anyways, Zach's gonna be here in a few, and we're gonna go to Jamba Juice, and then we're gonna watch Dragon Prince, which is I mean, I've watched it before, but I introduced him to it, and now he's really into it, so I'm rewatching it with him. Well, he's watching it for the first time, so that'd be really fun. So he's also said he was a little dressy, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm dressed enough now. I'm like stressed. So we'll see how it goes. I'll update you guys when we get there.
Me and my silly
The gang's all here.
Oh no.
The gang's all here.
Show them Opal's bandana.
Opal, come here. You want to see your pretty bandana? This is a little Valentine's Day
Very pretty
bandana. Here. Opal, you're too fat. Let me see. Ta-da! Little hearts
Oh,
and
your dog
cherries.
fat?
She is fat.
She's athletic.
Athletic?
Yes.
Are we talking about the same dog?
Eh.
This dog is not athletic.
Ah.
Yeah, get him, Opal. She says, I'll give you Valentine's Day kisses.
Distracted, baby.
I will. We're heading to Jamba Juice.
She's jumping up here. I got her excited. Or she's Susan Impossible.
Look what you've done.
I'm not
What
sorry.
have you done? Gosh. Okay, well, we're heading to Jamba Juice, and then we're gonna watch the Dragon Prince, and I'm not gonna film anymore because I want to spend time with my boo. And my boo.
Hey, wait, which one's the first bit?
Only I know the answer to that. But so
Opal is
this
my
is the
first
end of the
boo.
video. Signing off.
I don't think she heard that.
What? I'm gonna look back and see what you said. Probably.
I said Opal is my first boo.
Never mind. This is now Valentine's Day for one. I'm kidding. So, with that, I'll sign off and say, like this video if you like. If you like it, if you like.
Baby.
And I'll see you guys next time.